turn your mics on? Your microphone?
And I fuss at every council meeting because they don't do this. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
I'm going to talk into it too because it's really hard to hear, and I know that because I sit right beside my husband at every council meeting, and I can't hear sitting that close. And nothing's wrong with my hearing. So y'all be sure to talk into these things tonight so everybody can hear you. It is so nice to see everybody in person because these are my friends and I've been working with them for a long time. And this is the first time we've all been together. And I just told Alma, she had the most beautiful coconut cake today on Facebook. And I just knew we were going to have coconut cake tonight, but she's taking it to her brother tomorrow. It looked so good. But anyway, we're really proud to see everybody tonight, and we welcome all of you to Loganville. This is our town, and we love it, and I'm glad you can all be here. So I'm going to call the meeting to order now, and if you will stand, we'll have the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'll get up.
Dear Father above, we come to you tonight just giving you praise for all the blessings you've given us. We thank you, Lord, that we can all be here together in person to see face to face and talk to each other. And Lord, you know we're from the South, so please let this thing please go away because we're used to hugs, and that's what Southern people like. And Father, we just ask now that you would send a healing hand to everybody. And Lord, take this virus away from our town and our country and our nation. These things we ask in the precious and heavenly and holy name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
And we'll now have a question.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sounds good. It's going to roll out from under me.
Right.
Thank you.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm just afraid it's going to roll out from under me and I'm going to sit and I don't want to do anything to my back.
Okay. Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes of the
I'm still
March
working
25th meeting, 2021? Are there any corrections or additions? Do I have a motion that we accept them as read?
I make a motion that we accept him as read.
Second? Okay. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Good. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the cases that are coming up tonight. And I'm going to, Tim had a shot today, so I'm really going to treat him with kid gloves tonight. So, okay, do you feel like this, Tim?
Sure.
It'll nail you tomorrow.
I
Okay.
had my shot yesterday, so it's kicking in today.
Okay.
Right.
Now,
So can I say something, Tim and Janice?
Yes.
I'm going to recuse myself from R21001.
Okay.
Okay. That's Brian, okay.
The first item we have is case R21-001. The applicant is Storage Cap Loganville LP. They're being represented by Anderson Tate and Carr. The property owner is Walton Ranch LLC. Map and parcel number is LG0400001H00. Present zoning is CH. The requested zoning is light industrial. It's located in the Publix Shopping Center complex at Highway 78 and Highway 20. It's 4.53 acres. It's for a climate-controlled storage facility, and the applicant is here for y'all's questions.
Is there someone here to represent this? Okay. You want to come up to the microphone now? And please give us your name.
he's going to see for Mike's.
Oh, I'm not sure that mic's on. He's going to see you.
I think it's on. Yes, ma'am. It's on. Good evening, Madam Commissioner and Madam Chairman and members of the Commission. My name is Melody Glauton with Anderson Tate & Carr. It is my privilege to be here this evening on behalf of the applicant, Storage Cap Loganville LP, doing business as Store Space. We are here this evening requesting a rezoning from CH to LI with regard to this parcel. We do have a PowerPoint presentation prepared, I believe. I'm not sure. Do you have screens in front of you or do you? Okay, wonderful. So if I can, I will start to make my way through this presentation. And as Mr. Prater indicated, this piece of property is located at 4325 Atlanta Highway here in Loganville. It consists of 4.35 acres, and the current zoning is CH, which is known as the Commercial Highway District. We are requesting to be rezoned to Light Industrial District, and the purpose of the rezoning is to develop a two-story enclosed climate-controlled self-storage facility. And if we move along to the next slide, just a little bit about Store Space. We would like to show you some prior redevelopments with regard to their prior projects from, as you can see in the renderings from the before properties and what they have accomplished with regard to the redevelopments. There are a couple of slides, and as you can see, our proposal is we have a piece of raw land here. So as you can see in this particular slide, it would be a similar redevelopment going from raw acreage to a climate-controlled storage facility. This would be a very high-end development. We can go ahead and move on to the next slide as well. And I'll talk a little bit more about Store Space. And if we move along to this slide, this is the actual proposed site on Atlanta Highway. This is an aerial, and we do have the site plan, which we'll discuss in just a few minutes, but I'm sure that most of you are familiar with this proposed location and the Publix shopping center. Publix is in full support of this development, and they are excited to see this opportunity for Store Space to come in and develop this site. And again, I think this is a great aerial for you to see what the proposed development would like once it's built here in this shopping center. And if we can move along to the next slide. So I know that's small. I don't know if we can zoom in at all. This just sort of highlights the project summary. Again, the applicant proposes to develop the property into a fully enclosed, climate-controlled self-storage facility. It would include an office on site to manage the operations. It does include a proposed two-story building, and the footprint would be approximately 47,000 square feet. The proposed building facade would include attractive architectural design elements that would match the aesthetics of the surrounding businesses and be very compatible with the surrounding development. We want to be a good neighbor. We want to match the high-end developments that Loganville is accustomed to expecting. And so we would obviously be very much in line and compatible with those surrounding developments. And the surrounding area is characterized by a wide range of intense commercial uses. And again, I'm sure you're familiar with this existing shopping center as well. So just again to highlight the existing property and surrounding uses and a little bit of history with regard to this site. The property was developed 25 years ago when Loganville Town Center Shopping Center was developed. And this piece of property has remained vacant ever since. I think that's important to highlight and obviously discuss this evening. This is an opportunity to develop this site into something that Loganville can be proud of, and that the surrounding property owners and the citizens of Loganville can utilize as an amenity for the community. The property is primarily rectangular in shape, as you can see here on the rendering. And again, it is immediately adjacent to the Publix shopping center, who again is in full support of this application. It is entirely surrounded by CH zoning classifications. It's bounded on the south and the southwest by heavily wooded and undeveloped properties. And what's unique about this site, again, if you're familiar, there's a very long driveway as you come into the existing property. So it is not particularly amenable to other commercial uses because it sits so far back off of the roadway. It would be difficult for another commercial user to come in and have visibility that's required to continue their business. And so that's why we think this is a perfect site for this type of business. Immediately adjacent parcels are improved with the service and retail businesses in the area. And again, if we can move along here. So the City of Loganville Comprehensive Plan obviously identifies this property as undeveloped and vacant. As we've mentioned here numerous times, it's currently zoned CH. And again, it does have the surrounding commercial and industrial uses as well. One thing I want to discuss, if we could move along to the next slide, this is actually the proposed site plan. It has the singular entrance coming off of the driveway there with the building that is going to be situated in the back. It would, fit very nicely, again, with the existing developments. And again, if you could move along, we have the proposed renderings. So this is not what you would typically think of in terms of a mini storage or a storage facility. As you can see, this is a very high-end development, something that Loganville could be proud of in terms of fitting with the surrounding uses and the surrounding zoning classifications. We're excited about this opportunity. I think what's important to note is the way that the current City of Loganville code is structured is that a mini storage facility is required to be classified under LI for light industrial. And I printed out the current zoning classification of CH. It actually allows, as permitted uses, much more intense uses. So for example, under the current zoning classification for this property, which is CH Commercial Highway District, permitted uses currently include automotive body repair shops, automotive car wash, auto repair shops or tire stores, automotive service stations with or without fuel pumps, contractors' offices with outdoor storage of equipment or materials, convenient food stores with or without fuel pumps, equipment rentals, sales, or services with or without outdoor storage, log splitting and storage lots, machine welding, radiator or muffler repair shops, recovered material processing facilities, any outdoor storage areas. So under the current zoning classification of CH, you can see that the code currently permits very intense commercial uses, including outdoor storage. And so the code that we are currently operating under does not allow a climate-controlled storage facility with indoor storage under CH. And so we are traveling under the code that we have before us, which is requires us to ask for an LI zoning classification. And so we think that this commercial use, which is what this is directly in line with the comprehensive plan and is compatible with the surrounding uses and is in fact less intense than what the CH zoning classification currently permits. And so for those reasons, we believe that this would be again, a compatible use and compatible to the surrounding businesses and existing uses in the area. And I hope I'm explaining that. I do have the CH zoning classification printed out if you'd like to see it, that shows that there are current permitted uses under CH that are much more intense than a climate-controlled indoor storage facility. I do have Mr. Edward Moran here from StoreSpace that can address any specific questions you have about the business. And if we could scroll just a little bit more, with regard to store space specifically, they are a very philanthropic company. This is an additional rendering I think we showed you at the beginning of the presentation as well. But again, we want to be a good neighbor. We want to be involved in the community. And so for that reason, Store Space is active in the community, and they contribute back to the community with regard to the a percentage of rents with regard to charitable organizations. And I think this is a good example of the commitment that they show to the community and how involved they intend to be in their partnership with the city as well. Again, we would respectfully ask for your approval of this rezoning application. We believe it is compatible with not only the comprehensive plan, but all of the surrounding uses as well. I'm happy to address any questions that you may have and entertain any other comments or feedback.
Anybody, any on this committee have questions? Catherine?
So will there be an outdoor part too where people can store like their trailers and their
No, ma'am.
campers and?
Absolutely no outdoor storage.
Approximately how many storage units will be in the entire facility?
Inside there'll be
730?
730.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Anybody else have questions?
My thought is if we allow light industrial coming in to the middle of commercial, we have so much open land around that area, behind that area. And I would be afraid of what we would see coming in. Granted, your building looks great, but the next person coming in for light industrial may not be so big and beautiful building. So that would be my concern.
Yes, ma'am. So with regard to that specific concern, I think that obviously each rezoning application and each particular use has to be evaluated independently. And so with regard to this particular application, again, we are working within the confines of the City of Loganville's zoning ordinance. And under the zoning ordinance, a mini storage facility and a storage facility is required to be under an LI zoning classification. And so I think the city could easily analyze further applications with that in mind. But this particular use is traveling under that, under those parameters. And so for those reasons, I think the city could also analyze it with regard to the fact that it is a much less intense use than what is also already permitted under the CH zoning classification that the property is currently zoned. And so for those reasons, I do think it's an appropriate analysis, and it's appropriate for the city to rezone the property to LI based on the city's own zoning classifications and the city's current zoning ordinance.
I have a question.
I think that, I'm just going to make a statement if I can.
Yes, ma'am.
I think there's so many people in our town that, with this being commercial, and they would really like to see more shops and things of this. And we have a lot of storage buildings already in Loganville, but this is what I've heard from so many people, and so many people have talked to us and said this. So I just want to make that statement. I want to tell you that, okay? Because we try to stay in touch with the people of the community. That's who we're here to represent, and I just think that's very important. And Is there anybody up here now that wants to say anything else? Because I'm gonna call them. Okay, Barbara.
Tim, do you know how many storage facilities that we have now? Because they're up 81, they're where I live, they're over here on Brand Road, and
Is that your phone?
it's mine. It's probably spam. Wow.
The one on 81 is huge. But anyway, that's not for me to decide, but I do want you to realize what's going on. I'm gonna call on the audience in just a minute. Is there anybody else up on this committee that needs to say anything? Okay. Do we have anybody in the audience that would like to speak? Melanie?
My question is, this is a large facility and the whole park, like the whole thing is going to be concrete, and you got a building that's going to be also creating a lot of watershed. Have we addressed the retention? Is there going to be underground retention, or is there a retention pond that they'll be using for that?
Good evening, esteemed members of the Planning Commission and Loganville citizens. I'm this Robert Rice, Senior Vice President of Construction for Store Space and Storage Cap Loganville. There are retention ponds on both sides of the property, and we also did a study that the building is approximately 45,000 or to 47,000 square feet of footprint. We're leaving a tremendous amount of impervious area around there, and we're going to be working with a local civil engineering firm to make sure that everything that we do on that property is in compliance with all the local codes, that we are a green developer, so everything that we do will be in compliance with local environmental agencies and with the city of Loganville upon us, getting permission to do the project. I did listen intently to your concern about the number of units. The good thing about indoor storage is we only need like one parking place for every 70 to 100 units, where most industrial or commercial entities need much more parking. And when people think of storage, they typically think of these contractors coming in and out of these roll-up doors and all that stuff, and we don't have any of that. We have attorneys and we have homeowners and we have people from the community that are moving into some of the new homes in the community that are being built. There's a tremendous amount of homes being built in the area, and people are looking for a safe place, a climate-controlled place to store, personal belongings, documents, and things like that. So it's that type of facility. It looks more like a professional building, that you would see on the outside. I hope that answers your question.
Anybody else? Okay. If not, do I have a motion on this? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'm scared I'll get shot.
I make a motion that we deny the light industrial and keep that property as commercial.
I'll second it.
All in favor, let it be known by raising your hand.
I'm sorry.
Anybody? Catherine, did you write?
I'm going to oppose. I'm going to oppose. I'm not saying yes. Saying no.
You get it out right in a minute.
You're not voting right.
I'm not voting yes.
She's voting no, Janice.
And the reason being is that I think we also have to think that it is already zoned commercial. And, we don't know what could come in there that way too. And I guess that's a concern for me to think it could be another gas station. And I know that we have a lot of storage units, and I know that. But I'm also afraid of what else could come in there under commercial.
Be nice to have a restaurant, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But see, that's what, okay, so let me get the vote again. Angela, Barbara, Alma, I'm sorry, are voting, and so we don't have
To
a tie.
deny.
No, it's all
I
no.
was gonna vote. But we have 3 to deny this and 1 to let it go. And Brian has
With-
recused himself. He's not going to vote.
With that being said, with the denial not passing, you have taken no action on this case. So you either have to revote or send it to the city council with no recommendation.
Okay, I was fixing to read that. This will come up in front of the Loganville City Council on Monday night, May the 10th, at the work session. We'll ask you to come back and present your case then.
At the work session,
I'm sorry.
does it get presented again at the work session?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the
Okay.
work session. And then it would be voted on for sure on May the 13th. They would make their decision on May the 13th, and you can come back then. But my group tonight has denied this. Okay?
No, ma'am, we did not deny it. That did not pass. So no action was taken on this case. It was 3-1.
I'm sorry.
No action was taken on this case. The vote was 3-1 to deny. So it did not pass.
So
The denial did not pass.
So I can't vote on it?
No. You can only vote during a tie.
Well, I thought I could vote on it.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay,
So
Well,
it's
you need to
going to
come
the
back
city
on this.
council with no recommendation from the planning commission.
okay.
Thank you.
We thank you for being
Yes, ma'am.
here.
Thank you.
The next item we have is R21-004. The applicant is 412 Conyers Road LLC. The property owner is 412 Conyers Road LLC. The parcel number is LG060182. The present zoning is R16. The requested zoning is CH. The address is 412 Conyers Road. It's 0.85 acres, and the proposed development is for office use, and the applicant is here if you have any questions.
If I may approach, I just have before and after photo, I'd like to pass out if that's okay for you guys.
Will, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that house on the corner? I know where this is. I know where this is. Talking about this. This.
If I could, let me introduce myself. I'm Chris Alexander, and with me is Michael Cody, and we are the owners of 412 Conyers Road LLC. Wanted to come in front of the board. Thank you, number one, for having us here this evening and presenting to you. But wanted to come in front of the board and request an approval from the R16 residential to CH. Would like to give you a little bit of history on the home and tell you about our intentions for the house, some things that we've done to it, some improvements that we've made for the city of Loganville, and then our ideas for the tenants for the property. So the house at 412 has been there since the early 50s. The residents that lived there, the Wilkersons, aged and unfortunately passed away, and it was left to their children. And over that time, as they got older, it was harder to take care of the property. So when Larry Wilkerson put the property up for sale, Michael and I looked at it several times and thought this would be a great investment. We think it would be a good property to renovate. It definitely needed a lot of work, and we did a lot of renovation on the property. It has a storage facility in the back, a 2-bay storage facility that Mr. Wilkerson built race cars and renovated cars and that type of things. There was a lot of work to be done on that. So some of the things that we did on the house, number one, it had a wheelchair ramp, which was not up to code. We tore that out, put a brand new ramp in, new roof, painted inside, outside, put new windows in, redid the electrical. We've redone a number of the plumbing facilities in the house. We're going to put a kitchenette in there, it was a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. We're changing that up to a 4-office suite with 2 baths, one of those being a handicap bath. So a lot of improvement to be done. And in the future, if it is zoned commercial, we plan on approaching the fire marshal and discussing putting a driveway in, a hard surface driveway for cars to come in and out. If you're not familiar where the house is, it's on Highway 20, right down below 78 on your left. And you'll see that in the pictures. It's actually got 2 entrances. It's got an entrance and an exit. When you look at the house, there's a turn lane or a decel lane in front of the house. So it's easy access into the property. And actually, if you're coming from 78, it's easy access to take a left. There's not a turn lane there, but cars can get by, so it's not going to hold up traffic in that facility, in that location. Sidewalks in front of the house, honestly, an easy walk to downtown. So if there's events going on downtown, or if individuals want to walk from downtown to this property, easy access via sidewalks and be able to walk there. As I mentioned, we've put a ton of money into it. When we looked at this house, and I've been in Loganville now for about 5 years. Michael actually grew up here, went to school in Loganville. Michael is married to my daughter, so he's very lucky, and I'm very lucky to have him as a son-in-law. But we sit at the dinner table and we say, as you mentioned, we want restaurants in Loganville. We want businesses in Loganville. And I see these communities, they're being built on Grayson Highway in Gwinnett County. And I'm thinking all those individuals need to spend their money. They need to come to Loganville and spend their money. And we think this would be a perfect opportunity to set up it's a standalone building. And it does have that shop out back for storage or inventory, that type of thing. But we think it's a perfect location for individuals to come into Loganville, do their business. If there are restaurants here, they can stop and spend their money at these restaurants, Walmart, whatever the case may be. So when we talk about the tenants, we don't have a tenant identified at the time because it has not been zoned yet. So we didn't want to really start advertising until the commission made a decision on that. Our thoughts are, it would be great for a contractor, local landscapers. It would be a great place for a landscaper to have their business, real estate office, antiques, consignment shop would be perfect for that. Engineering, civil engineering, or surveyors would be perfect for that. Or pest control, accounting, medical offices. So there's a variety of things. I will tell you, with the amount of money that we put into this home, we're expecting for it to be a premium property and a premium rent. We're really going to control who's going to move in there, who's going to rent this property. We want to get some good tenants in there, and honestly be proud of Loganville, and you guys be proud of us. And hopefully you've seen the investments and the improvements we've made to the property and are happy about that. So that's what we're asking for. We're asking for that rezoning, and hopefully you'll vote favorably for that.
Anybody have any questions up here?
So what I understand is that as far as parking, it's going to be in the back, or is it going to be up front?
Our plan today is we have room for 2 spaces up front, so we could put handicap there because that's where the ramp has been built, and then we'll have spaces in the back. The property is only 1,400 square feet, so it can really accommodate only about 10 parking spaces at most in the back. So it'll probably be about 4,000 square foot worth of parking. I will say, if we look around at the other properties beside us, there's the daycare that's commercial property across the street. There's a CH zone property that I think is an electrical company, and then the People's Financial is a CH down the street. So there are other commercial properties around us.
Most of this group's probably already, usually we go, most everybody tries to go and see this property when we know that something's coming in front of us. And I know we rode out to look at it, and you've done a great job on this house. It really looks nice.
Thank you.
Anybody else up here have any questions or anything?
I asked Janice yesterday, I said, where is it? And I said, well, I'm not right where it is. I just cleaned it up, made it look beautiful. So it's a major improvement.
Thank you.
Well, we know that most people try to get before the board before they spend any money on it, but we wanted to show what we're willing to do, because it's a whole lot harder to look at it as it was and say, oh, what are these guys really going to do with it? And so I hope we've shown that what our intentions are.
I don't guess you would ever put it back as a home, would you?
If we got the commercial zoning, I would see no reason that would ever
Okay.
be fit to be a home again.
Is there, I looked at the property too, it looks very nice. I was
Thank you.
pleased with the difference. Is there a way to get into it from that side?
Tommy Lee Fuller
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
At the moment, there is not. There was a driveway that the family, some of the kinfolk is on the center adjacent residential property, and we approached them a little bit, and they said no, it's that's where we live, and so we feel that whereas right now it's not a way. The property that sits on the corner of Conyers Road and Tommy Lee Fuller is owned by an investor that we've talked to, but he was just so far off on his price. But our ideal situation would be that we could buy that from him and have that whole corner there to make it easier to get it out.
And that's that little blue one?
Yeah, that trashy looking place. God.
Okay, and your intent is to
Another way to put it.
not sell it, but to
lease it,
to
yes, ma'am.
certain people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's it's a long-term hold for us that we live here. Obviously, he said I was from here, and so be to continue to do that. Just as an investment.
I had to put my hand down. That's what makes it hurt.
Anybody else up here have questions? Anybody in the audience want to say anything or ask any questions?
Yes, ma'am. I'm grandfather of this young man. I said, we do it.
Do you live over there?
He lives in Loganville as well.
Do you live over there? You sound like me. Doesn't it, Kim? I'm sorry. Okay.
You smile exactly alike. You truly, truly do. How about that?
Okay. Do I have a motion on this?
I'll make a motion that
Brian,
we approve it.
Brian raises-
Oh,
Brian,
I make a motion to approve it.
okay, Brian made the motion
I'll second it.
and Barbara's going to second. All in favor, let it be known by raising your hand. I'm going to look good this time.
Aye.
5, okay.
Great.
Okay, you passed.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your
Now,
support. And definitely reach out to us if you have questions.
Remember now, you have to come back. You have to go in front of the council too. We're the first step. And then, the city council has a workshop meeting on May the 10th at 6:30 right here. And you have to present this to them. And then on, May the 13th is the regular city council meeting at 6:30. And that's when you will know if it's approved or not. That's when they vote on it. So be sure to come back.
Oh, we'll be here. Do we need a presentation? I felt terrible. I was like, I didn't do a presentation.
No, you didn't.
No?
You did fine.
You got everything you got
You
right
did great.
Okay, thank you. All
Okay.
right. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. All right, this is,
That is all
the
I have.
last thing we have coming up tonight, right? I'm not gonna goof like I did last time.
Yes, ma'am, that's it.
Do I have a motion that we adjourn this meeting?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second? Catherine? Okay, all in favor? Raise your hand. Okay, the motion is approved and we're ready to go home. Boy, that was short and